Welcome to another episode of my Motortown playthrough. Today is going to be a bit of a different story compared to the last few episodes. We are not just going to jump right into an activity this time around. There is a topic I want to address that is near and dear to my heart when it comes to Motortown, and we'll do a delivery later in the episode. But first up, let's get into the car, drive around for a bit and talk about the topic of today, which has to do with the car side of Motortown. As much as I enjoy the trucking side of things, with the supply chains, the company management, heavy duty off-road deliveries, for me the main enjoyment with this game has always been the smaller vehicles and just driving them. Anything from regular cars to vans to pickup trucks. Those are really the most immediately fun things for me, and even just sometimes logging into the game, going for a cruise with something and putting on some music, it's just absolutely relaxing, and I love the type of driving in this game. So the thing that I need to talk about today is how the recent update has put a massive damper on that side of things for me. But this is actually something that I need to examine from two different perspectives. There's both a long-term situation going on with the car-related updates and also the more immediate situation. So to get into this properly, let's talk about the long-term things first. And that has to do with the updates. I would love to see more cars in the game, a lot of different types of vehicles, and I've been asking for those types of additions for years now. Anything from stuff that we don't have in the game right now, like minivans, front-wheel drive coupes, and front-wheel drive sedans, Japanese-style rally cars like the Subaru Impreza, Mitsubishi Lancer Evo or Gellant, and other vehicles like that. But also just some more sports cars, like a Corvette would be awesome. Maybe a supercar as a bit of a money sink. High downforce race car. The list is long and it goes on and on and on. And for the most part, we have seen barely any additions like that. So, yeah, the best one that I can think of, and the most recent one, must have been the Neo. Came out about 1.5 years ago. Absolute beast, both on the track and here also the best one for the drag strip and a lot of other situations. Really versatile vehicle. Just a fun track toy, and also being usable for a lot of other different purposes. There have of course been other more recent additions like the Nuke over there. The Monarch comes to mind, but those feel more specific to a certain purpose. But yeah, it would be nice getting another few more toys into the game, another few things that can work as tuning projects, makeshift race cars, professional race cars, and other things like that. But for the most part, it's been pretty dry on that front. Another thing there has been the hope to get racetracks on OG. For the most part in the racing community, we've been doing road racing due to the lack of racetracks. I mean, the only real one is Anson Speedway over here, and that's a very specific type of track with mainly tight and narrow turns. So getting something that has more wider bands and finally a bit of elevation change. That's really not the case with any of the permanent tarmac tracks over here. Yeah, A-Wall Raceway has a lot of height differences, but that's an off-road track. And the Harbor Raceway is not even wide enough for a lot of regular racing. It's more of a time attack track. So yeah, getting some race tracks on OG, especially something like a race complex with multiple different possible layouts would be nice. But yeah, that's also something that we've been asking for years now, and at this point, honestly, I have stopped asking about it. It doesn't feel like we are going to get anything like this anytime soon, if ever at all. And while we've gotten stuff like the drag strip, which has been nice in its own right, that's also kind of a different thing from racing. It just, yeah, has been slim pickings for way too long, and I've kind of given up on that front. So that's the long-term side of things, a lot of frustration there. Some things here and there, but ultimately I think when looking at the amount of other things that have been added, getting a few cars here and there, maybe one with every update, would have really helped out quite a lot here, and we just barely get anything. So yeah, that's the long-term story. The more immediate situation has to do with a recent update. While we have gotten a massive step forward here in regards to the potholes in the game, they have been reduced significantly. Some roads used to look like Swiss cheese, but that's now quite a bit better. Some of the potholes are still very severe if you hit them wrong, and they can mess you up quite a lot. Overall, it's been much better on that front. But they've also changed something else about the world that has really put a damper on how much I enjoy it. As I said, most of my enjoyment comes from driving vehicles somewhat fast. I'm not always the best at it, and I tend to make a few mistakes, and right now those mistakes are often very harshly punished, because they, in a lot of areas, have added rocks to the side of the road. Thankfully not right here, but if we drive back to the coastline, they are just a few meters off the road, so if you ever run into a situation where maybe you are cruising around, need to dodge a bit of traffic, maybe in a race you get pushed wide a bit or miss a braking zone, there is a good chance that you will completely wreck your car on those rocks, and that's just such a harsh punishment. And I don't like my games to be punishing like that. I do like that generally you don't have that much grip off-road, so there is a very good reason to stay on the road and not just do shortcuts all the time. But when you just maybe miss the braking point a bit, go a bit wide, what happens here now is this, and looking at the damage, that's basically race over for you. And these are not only over here, but also in a lot of other places. Just a few meters off the road, completely destroying your vehicle, and I hate these things. And to be clear, when it comes to the last few episodes, those have been all recorded before I noticed that. They have been recorded more towards the mid of March. Ever since then, I participated in another TWL event that I helped plan out. Also going around the drag strip over here. And that's when I first really noticed the issue and how disruptive it is for racing. So yeah, it's just been, in a sense, kind of the straw that broke the camel's back here. While I have been really happy about the reduction in potholes, this is far more severe and going the other direction completely with how much it disrupts racing. These rocks are not only present around the drag strip right here, but also around Ara, and I've also seen quite a lot of them, especially in this area. Don't know where else they are, but I can only assume that they can be found in a lot of places around the map. And yeah, it just sucks the fun out of it if you completely wreck your car for every single mistake. So I don't fully know how to manage this situation. Once again, that racing event was about 2 weeks ago, and ever since then I've done very, very little in this game. Logged in for another racing event with some cards. That was a fun one. Thankfully didn't run into any of the same issues there, but after that it's just been me basically just playing other games, and I think that's gonna be my solution here for the time being. So yeah, long story short, the rocks really put a damper to my enjoyment of the game as a whole. There's also been the long-term situation with the lack of cars and other driving, racing, tuning content, etc. And for me right now to basically want to step away from the game for a good part, the first thing they would need to do to get me back in would be to get rid of the rocks. That's kind of a thing that I would have to ask for. I mean, to be clear, I'm not going to be fully boycotting the game or anything like that. If I find something fun to do in here, I'll jump back on, I'll do the thing. But to really put more time similar to what I have been doing before, the rocks need to go. And I really need to see some fun car content in the game. As it is right now, it just doesn't do it for me. I'm done asking for it, and if we don't get anything on that front, I'll just be playing other games that give me the thing that I really want from them. So yeah, so much about that. I don't want to leave you hanging here, though. We still have to do at least some deliveries with the copper coils. And yeah, get over to the transformer factory. Since this is going to be the last episode of me playing Motortown for at least a while, I would like to at least get some stuff done here and finish off that part in a decent way. So yeah, let's go, let's do the delivery and talk a bit about the Transformers and other oversized content that has been part of the update. I won't be doing any oversized deliveries because, as I think I mentioned in the first video regarding this update, they are not really that much fun for me. I don't mind the slow stuff if it's still somewhat tricky to do, if there is a challenge to it, but just driving the vehicles around slowly isn't really that much fun for me, so I tend to not do that all that much. But yeah, let's go deliver the coils and then talk about all of that. But yeah, to close off the other topic, I don't know. I feel like there's something more that I should be talking about, but right now I'm just... I don't know. I don't have a definitive feeling on the entire topic. Right now I'm just a bit disappointed about that situation. I don't know if they are going to get rid of rocks at any point. I made a feedback post about it. I've also seen some other people talk about it, so I hope that gets picked up. But I'm not too sure about it. I get that they want to maybe keep the people from doing shortcuts, like bypassing parts of a road in order to, yeah, just avoid intersections and all of that. For example, if I would go to the left here, I could easily shortcut and avoid going through the intersection, braking and all of that kind of thing. So stuff like that. And honestly, I am with them on that front. Oh, Jesus. Well, gotta tip it over one more time. I think trying to keep people from doing that kind of stuff is totally fair, but there are two ways of doing it. One is plastering the side of the road with rocks everywhere. The other one would be to deploy them in a more deliberate way. For example, right here. If you want to avoid shortcuts from here to there, you can also just have a line of rocks from here over to here. still allows people to go off the road if they need to for whatever reason, and doesn't punish them for that, but it keeps them from completely bypassing some of the intersections. Although then there's also the side of traffic being a bit of a problem. AI traffic vehicles not vacating the or just getting through the intersections that quickly over time and causing a traffic jam, so sometimes you have to go around them. So they should also address the issue of the AI being too bad if they want to improve other things. But yeah, if they just want to keep people on the road and from doing that kind of shortcut, it would be better to just block those specific shortcut routes instead of just plastering rocks to the side of the road everywhere. Because in my opinion that certainly feels like overkill, and it messes with other things as well. But yeah, we'll see where the game goes. I'll still be on the testing team and everything. Maybe I'll take a break from it for a while and come back later to check it out again. But for right now, I'm still keeping up with development. And if something about the situation changes, I'll make sure that I'll hopefully get informed of it. But yeah, no hard feelings on that topic, but with the ongoing frustration and that thing on top, right now it's just time to take a step back and see how long that's needed for. The other thing I wanted to talk about a bit today is, well, other things that are coming up. Like, for example, Forza Horizon 6, which I've been waiting for a while now. It's just that, well, I'm a racing game fan. I haven't had a good racing game in a while. Usually I would vibe with Forza Motorsport more than Horizon, but Motorsport is pretty much dead after what they did to the 8th title. So yeah, we'll see how Horizon turns out. I don't know if I'll be making videos on that, but I'm looking forward to getting into that game. Haven't really played a Horizon game after the first one. The first one was a lot of fun, but once it got more actually open road, and with that game's tendency to let people go off-road and cross country with a lot of different vehicles, haven't been vibing with that one. So yeah, the sixth one being set in Japan promises to be a bit different though, so I'm looking forward to seeing at least what that one has in store. But yeah, that's gonna come out around the mid of May, maybe a bit later than that, so still about 1.5 months to go pretty much. And yeah, we'll see how that one turns out. I hope I can get my racing fix from that game at least. For Motortown right now, I think I'll also stay away from the racing unless there's a really cool event coming up or something. But right now, with all of that other stuff going on, it feels like, at least in certain areas, the racing isn't really going to be a good idea anymore. And that just sucks. But yeah, Forza Horizon, I got at least some plans to play myself. As for videos, as I said already, we'll see. Not gonna be making an entire playthrough or so on video. I think I'll just enjoy that on my own. But who knows. I'll check it out and see what I wanna do with it. And the other games right now don't really got any plans for. I maybe wanna try out a few other things here and there, but there have been plans that I had for a while and never felt like I got the right timing for it. Also, sometimes with everything that has been going on with my personal life, I just don't really always have the energy. So, yeah. Likely still gonna be a bit unreliable on that front when it comes to making videos, but it is just what it is. So, another few things I would like to talk about today regarding the whole heavy deliveries to the transformer factory. I think a lot of people who tried that kind of stuff will be very familiar with the upcoming hill, and I would like to help you out with some of my knowledge here. First up, if you are doing some of the steel deliveries that are particularly heavy, you may get stuck over here. And my biggest suggestion would be to take the flanker B-double trailers. Because not only do you get a lot of surface area to put the cargo on, you also get the option to disassemble it over here and get it up on top of that hill in smaller segments. So that can help out a lot. If that's not an option, another thing I may suggest is going off to the left. Taking a good run up maybe from the fork in the road over there, going up as much as you can, and then just sticking to the side of the hill, going to the left here. Because that's a much more gentle climb than going up straight on up to that crest there. So you can just hug it to the side of the hill, slightly climbing up if you can, trying to avoid all the rocks here. There are quite a few, but there should also be more than enough space to go around them. And getting to this point is much easier than getting up that hill directly. There is a very tempting little path over here, but yeah, there's also quite a few rocks and the ground is pretty uneven. But if you can make it, this would be a very straight shot over to the transformer factory. Cannot recommend this for everything. If you had your troubles going up the regular road, this might not be a viable option either. But for something that could maybe do it, might want to keep that in mind. Other than that, it's a safe shot back to the road from this side. You could also try and stick to the side of the hill here. Make it up on this little incline. And then on this plateau you are basically already pretty much at the height that you need to be at. But yeah, there's once again a few rocks over here that you would need to avoid. But if you can just hug it to the hillside here, you can somewhat easily make it over here, and it's gonna be easier than going back down and up on this road, which is not quite as steep of an incline as the other hill, but still quite the challenge with a heavy load. But yeah, of course with my truck over here I didn't have any of those issues. But yeah, keep that in mind. There are other paths, potentially. And in general, once again, the B-double trailer will be your best friend for large deliveries. Can take it most of the way all at once, but for the segments where you can't really do it, you can also ease your load by taking only partial deliveries there. Another thing I wanted to quickly talk about is the Goliath trailer. That one is really specific to oversized deliveries. When it comes to heavy deliveries, however, I cannot recommend it. And I would like to show you guys why real quick. If we take the Golema here and just bring it over to the loading area, I just wanted to keep an eye on the overall weight of this vehicle. It's around 10.5 tons. So really easy to memorize. If we now hook up the Goliath 10 trailer, we can check how heavy that thing is. I'll also put a bit more weight on the front here. We are just looking at the overall gross vehicle weight, and then we'll just see how much we weigh right now without any load. I mean, it's already quite a lot slower than before. And the weight comes down to pretty much exactly 40 tons for the trailer. 50.5 or 50.4 in total right now, but pretty much 40 tons just the Goliath 10 trailer. And this is why it's not a good trailer for heavy deliveries. It looks really good when you load on some of the steel coils and stuff, but the trailer itself is already so heavy that any heavy delivery is going to massively suffer from just the added weight of the trailer itself. The good thing about it is that it's actually quite a bit wider than the regular flanker trailers and all of that, so you get a lot of stability out of it, but just its own mass should disqualify it from a lot of just heavy duty deliveries. But yeah, for the oversized stuff like the transformers and the tanker, well, the tank, I mean, that's actually a really good one, just because it gives more stability. But yeah, when we compare this to the flanker trailer, which isn't that much smaller, I mean, we can take a look at the cargo bed size. This one is 13.5 by 2.5 meters. And the other one over here is... here's the box. 15.4 by 2.5 meters. I think the 2.5 is a bit of an error. This should be a bit wider. But overall in length you get 2 more meters, but the amount of extra weight makes that hardly justifiable. So let's check out how heavy this one is, and it should be a night and day difference. So yeah, this is about a bit more than 5 tons for just the trailer. So you're saving 35 tons in total. And there's another little difference here, and that's quite important actually. If we look where the wheels are, that also determines the distribution of the weight. With the Goliath having wheels from the front to all the way in the back of the entire cargo area, most of that cargo weight is going to be held up by those wheels. While with this one, a significant amount from the cargo's weight is going to weigh down on the driven wheels. So that means a lot of extra traction, and you are not getting that with the Goliath trailer, unless you basically lift up part of the trailer through the gooseneck hydraulics. Really not that amazing. So yeah, keep that in mind. It's a very good trailer for a very specific use case, and if you go for something else, you may need something else for that. But yeah, this isn't a full replacement for the regular flanker trailers. They still have a very important job here. Now let me get out my own Goliath. We are going to at least load up one of the transformers to just show it real quick. The whole thing moving back and forth a bit. But yeah, I'm going to press down on the driven wheels to get a bit more traction out of it. So with these jobs, to quickly give you guys a rundown, you are supposed to line up the vehicle as good as you can, and then load on the transformer. Where it lands really depends on your positioning, so yeah, take some time to line it up properly, and then it will be much easier. Should potentially also strap it down, just to be sure. And I think I should also be able to get a second large transformer here. If we move this forward a bit. I need a bit more. So yeah, this would be one delivery now. Seems like we are almost overlapping a bit, but yeah, this trailer definitely has space for two of them. I don't want to do the delivery here, so let's just get rid of them. I just wanted to quickly show you guys how large the transformer is. We can also have a quick look at the smaller one. So let me just quickly reverse into that area. It's a bit of a different maneuvering style with the Goliath, since that has some steering wheels as well, or steerable wheels. So yeah, that's definitely good enough for the small one. Could maybe get 3 or even 4 of them onto this trailer if I had enough produced. But yeah, that's the smaller transformer, quite nice looking little thing. But yeah, this is just for showcase purposes. The other thing I can quickly show you guys is the fuel tank. The factory is over here. I think I already got enough supplies in there to just show you the final product. So we'll just quickly drive over there and check it out. So while I won't be doing any deliveries in these episodes, I at least wanted to show you guys what the cargo looks like. Just to send this off with at least the main parts being showcased. There's also, of course, the whole escort job thing, although that's far more for, what can I say, roleplay purposes than it being a real job. Basically, for the most part, unless you need to help getting a car through Guangjin, or more like getting a big truck through Guangjin, for the most part, you're just gonna be following a vehicle and looking good. So yeah, that's an option right now. But in terms of actual activity, there isn't that much to get into. But yeah, you can get an escort license at the tuner for a wide variety of vehicles. For something functional, I would say go with either maybe a fuel truck or one of the wreckers. The Brutus should be the best one for off-road stuff, in case you really want to help out. That's the container thing. Slightly misclicked there, so I guess we're gonna have to go to this one because the parking lot is actually too short to despawn that one again. And yeah, I would never suggest you take this for an actual delivery, but I just wanted to check out if we can use this trailer to spawn in the tanker. So let's get in here. Once again, lining this stuff up is very important, but since I'm not doing the actual delivery and just wanted to quickly show it, I don't care that much. Although this isn't really too bad, I don't think. Might be a bit too far in the front here. There we go. And maybe put on the handbrake at least. But yeah, that's the tank. It's kind of an absolute unit, and that's also another reason why I would suggest you take the Goliath trailer just to make it a bit more stable. From what I know, all of these are damageable cargo, so it counts as fragile. You don't wanna tip it over and ram it into things. You gotta be careful there. And yeah, therefore the Goliath is definitely a better choice overall, because this already looks very unstable as it is. That's not gonna stay on its wheels all that long. But yeah, some cool cargo types here. But yeah, they take a bit of time getting. All of these need coils, and I think also H-beams. And in addition to that, the other big thing for the transformer is of course the copper coils. So a lot of work to do in order to get this even produced. But yeah, quite a big job when you want to do the delivery. The tanks only seem to go to the drilling place over here. This one right here. And the transformers go to either of the harbors. So can choose which one to go to. But yeah, as I said, I only wanted to make a quick showcase to show you guys that kind of cargo, but we are not going to do the actual delivery. That would be taking way too long. And yeah, I don't have that much interest in it. So yeah, that's gonna be it for me for this time around. I don't know when I'll come back to the game. Again, as I said, there have been just a few things that I hope they'll address sooner than later, and then it will be worth getting back into. Maybe if they add another fun activity for me to try out, then I'll also be playing again. But as it is right now, I feel a bit deflated about the game as of recent, so taking a longer break might be the best way to go. But yeah, we'll see how it goes when I come back. Anyways, until then, I hope you check out some of the other stuff I'll be doing in the meantime. And even if not, as always, have a good one. And bye bye.